guys, I'm Chef Natisha and today I want to share with you one of my favourite recipes. It's my masala roasted chicken. So being a British Asian girl, I love my roast dinners, but I love them to have a little bit of flavour, a little bit of spice and something from my Indian heritage. So I'm going to talk you through all the flavours I've got and I will show you how I roast my chicken. So the first thing we're going to do is get our marinade ready. So for our marinade, my first ingredient is my Holy Trinity paste, which is a paste of ginger, chilli and garlic. So equal measures of each, and I'm going to go in with 2 teaspoons. This just adds a lovely fresh heat and I use this in curries, in marinades, in all sorts of recipes. And then after that, I'm going to go in with some powdered spices. So the first one is Kashmiri red chili powder. Just about 1 teaspoon. Turmeric, 1 teaspoon. Paprika, I'm going to go in with 2 teaspoons because I want a bit of colour. Dried fenugreek leaf. Now for those of you that don't know about this, it's an Indian herb and it's from a methi leaf and it just adds a really nice smoky aroma and depth of flavour. So I'm going to go in with 2 teaspoons of that. Ground cumin, 2 teaspoons. Put all that in. Ground coriander powder, 2 teaspoons. Some salt, about 2 teaspoons. Lovely. And then I'm going to drizzle some oil in. Now I'm just using vegetable oil today and I've got about 3 tablespoons. Just drizzle that in, and you can always add a bit more if you want it a little bit more looser. Then I'm going to go in with a freshly squeezed lemon and make a mess all over my table. Now lemon kind of seasons the chicken and it just makes it a little bit more tender and flavourised as well. I'm going to go in with about 1 teaspoon of freshly cracked black pepper. I love using my pestle and mortar because I just think you get a bit more of a fresher flavour. And then I'm going to go in with about 4 tablespoons of natural yoghurt. Yoghurt's great for marinating meats because it just makes it a bit more tender as well. To create a paste. Now, if you don't have a lot of these spices at home, it's fine to use a curry powder or a tandoori masala powder. And that is the colour I was talking about, that lovely red. Beautiful. Bring it all together, remove any lumps. Beautiful. Now when your marinade's ready, pop that aside and just let it rest, just so all the marinade flavours come together whilst you prepare your chicken. Okay, so whilst your marinade is resting, we can prep the chicken. Now it's fine just to use the chicken as it is, however I'm a little bit pushed for time today and I didn't have time to marinate my chicken overnight and I want the flavour to get through to the flesh. So what I'm going to do is just actually make some cuts in the leg. The leg and the thighs actually take the longest to cook, so just get right through to the bone, make some slits. I'm wearing gloves because for hygiene purposes. So that's the legs. Turn the bird around, loosen the wings so they're not stuck inside underneath the bird, and then make some slits in the breast as well. Make sure you're using a sharp knife for this. Okay, so once your bird has been slit and prepped, the next stage is to marinate the bird. So this is the fun part and it's just a case of smothering the marinade all over and just getting into all the nooks, crannies, cavities, all the slits that you've made. Now I really recommend doing this 24 hours, if not 48 hours in advance. However, I am going to be cooking this today. So I'm going to let the bird relax just for 2 hours in the marinade, and I'm not going to refrigerate it because I'm going to cook it today and my bird has just come out the fridge, so it's still quite cool. Too complicated for tonight's veg. We got some potatoes there, which have just been peeled and chopped, and then I'm just going to roughly chop the carrot. Okay, so my bird has been marinating for 2 hours now, so it's ready to go straight into a hot oven. My oven's been on gas mark 6, and I'm going to let it roast for about 2 hours. I'm going to keep checking on it every 30 minutes just to baste the bird with any meat juices that there are in the tray. Okay, so now that my chicken's in the oven, the next thing I'm going to do is get my potatoes ready. So I've got some water just coming to the boil, and in there I'm going to add those potatoes that I had earlier, peeled and chopped. I'm going to let those boil nicely, and the reason why we do this before roasting potatoes straight away is just to soften them, which just helps them once they're roasting in the oven. So I'm going to leave them in there for about 20 minutes until they start to soften. And to help them along as well, I'm going to heavily season that pan of water. This will help the potatoes cook and it will flavour them as well. Okay, leave that with the lid on 20 minutes and just let them soften. Whilst my potatoes are softening, I want to get my baking tray ready for the potatoes. So I've got a tray, and in there just some more vegetable oil and some more cumin seeds and some coriander seeds, some more salt, and a little bit of black pepper. Okay, so that's the tray for the potatoes ready. Once the potatoes are boiled and drained, I'm going to add them to the preheated tray. So it's really important to get this tray nice and hot. Once it's hot and the oil's hot, the potatoes will seal. So it's important that we get that in the oven now, get it nice and hot, let the oil get hot. Okay, so whilst my chicken and my potatoes are roasting, I'm going to show you how I do my masala gravy. So we're going to get a saucepan, so same saucepan that I used to boil my vegetables. No fluffing around, no washing up, it's fine as it is. Just going to get that off. So in there, I'm going to add in some of the chicken juice that I've been collecting. So as I've been basting my chicken, I've been spooning out some of the masala pan juices, you can say, the natural chicken stock. So that's going to go in. I'm just going to heat that up. So in here we've got all the natural chicken stock. So that in the pan. And then to that I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. This will add some colour, some texture, a little bit of flavour. Pop that in. And then just warm the two together. into that sauce base, I am going to add some plain flour. I've got about 2 tablespoons in this bowl, but I'm going to go in about half of that first. And we'll just stir that in to remove any lumps. So this will create the thickness and the base for our gravy. Traditionally, you would use gram flour as well, but if you haven't got gram flour, that's fine. Normal flour will do. Okay, now that that's mixed in, I'm going to add in the rest of the flour. About another third, and mix that in. Now I've got 1 litre of chicken stock here, just chicken stock from a packet, nothing special. I just added hot water. So I'm going to add in a bit of that and loosen up the sauce base. So with this process you do it bit by bit. You add a bit of water to a bit of the sauce base. So stir out any lumps, bring it together to form a smooth consistency and carry on doing that until you've used up all your stock. Okay. Chicken stock. So I'm just going to let that come up to a boil now. Still quite thin, but it will thicken. Stir that, and we're going to leave it with the lid on and just let it simmer. Okay, so my chicken's back in the oven now and it's roasting for its final half an hour, and I've just taken off the foil and the greaseproof paper. I'm going to let that skin crisp up. My gravy is simmering nicely and it's coming along really well. The next step is to get in the carrots and just let them cook now. So the potatoes are browning nicely as well. I'll show you those now. So my potatoes have started to brown up, which is a really good indication that they're getting nice and crispy. So I'm going to move those to 1/2 of the tray. We're trying to keep the dishes down and save time on washing up. So they'll be fine in the same tray. There's already some spice in that tray, so I'm not too bothered about adding a bit more spice to my carrots. I am just going to add a little bit more oil just to give them a little bit of a glaze. Few droplets, not much at all, because there is some residual oil in the pan. Lovely. And just a touch more seasoning. Now that tray can go back in the oven and roast for the final 20 minutes. Okay, so my gravy has had 30 minutes of simmering on a low heat and it's just thickened up beautifully. So if you look at that consistency, that's what we would normally expect from a gravy. The colour's also got richer and darker, and as I've been basting my chicken, I've been taking juices out of the tray and just adding it to this lovely gravy. And there we have it, guys. It's been 2 hours and we've got a whole extra large masala roasted chicken, my masala gravy, some steamed greens and some masala roasted potatoes and carrots. Amazing, and I can't wait to get stuck in. Thank you, and join me next time for my next recipe.